Consider a spherical capacitor filled with air, consisting of inner and outer thin conducting spherical shells, with a charge plus Q on the inner shell of radius 0.1 meter, and a charge of minus Q on the outer shell, which has a radius of 0.2 meters. And we can neglect the thickness of each shell. And in part A, find the magnitude of the electric field in each of the regions. So here we construct spherical Gaussian surfaces. So we see the enclosed charge in this Gaussian surface is 0 for r less than a, so the electric field is 0. And between r equals a and b, we have a Gaussian surface of radius r. So the electric flux through this surface is the electric field by the surface area, which is 4 pi r squared, and that's equal to the enclosed charge on a permittivity of free space. So that gives an electric field of the charge on 4 pi epsilon naught by r squared. And if we draw a Gaussian surface outside the sphere, we see the enclosed charge is plus Q minus Q, which is 0, so the electric field is 0. What is the electric potential difference between A and B? So the potential difference is minus the work done by the electric force per unit charge. So that will be the electric field being Q on 4 pi epsilon naught by r squared. So you can imagine moving a test charge from B to A along some path. So we integrate from B to A over r. So what we get is minus Q on 4 pi epsilon naught by taking the constants outside the integral. And the integral evaluates to minus 1 on r. So we get a plus here. 1 on A minus 1 on B. And simplifying this, we get Q on 4 pi epsilon naught by B minus A on AB. And now we'll go to part C. What is the capacitance of this object? So the capacitance is Q on the change in electric potential between our two plates. So that would be Q on 4 pi epsilon naught by B minus A on AB. And we see the charge cancels. So what we get is 4 pi epsilon naught by AB on B minus A. And show that in a limit, when the distance between the shells is very small, the capacitance approaches the result for a parallel plate capacitor. So as B approaches A, we can approximate the capacitance as 4 pi epsilon naught by A, and we substitute B is equal to A plus delta. And B minus A in this approximation is delta. So in the numerator, delta is much smaller than A, so our expression for the capacitance becomes epsilon naught by A on delta, where A in this case is 4 pi epsilon naught by the square of the radius of the inner shell. So because the spheres are so close together, then it can be viewed as a parallel plate capacitor, where the electric field points from the inner plate to the outer plate, because the positive charge is on the inner plate, or the electric field points from a higher potential to a lower potential, and the area of the plate is given by the surface area of the spherical shell. And now we'll move on to part D. What is the capacitance of this object in farads? And we'll use the following equation for the numerical questions. So the capacitance is 4 pi by epsilon naught. So epsilon naught is 1 over 4 pi by Coulomb's constant, which is 9 by 10 to the 9, and multiplied by the radius of the inner shell, which was given as 0.1 meter, by the radius of the outer shell being 0.2 meters, over B minus A. So that gives a capacitance of 2.22 by 10 to the minus 11 farads. Now suppose the maximum possible electric field at the outer surface of the inner shell before the air starts to ionize is 3 by 10 to the 6 volts per meter. What is the maximum possible charge on the inner shell in coulombs? We'll recall the electric field was the charge on 4 pi epsilon naught by r squared, and the radius of the inner shell is 0.1 meters. So setting the electric field to the value when the air starts to ionize, being 3.0 by 10 to the 6 volts per meter, and substituting for epsilon naught from this equation, we can get the maximum charge. So that's 3.33 by 10 to the minus 6 coulombs. And now we'll move on to part E. What is the magnitude of the maximum potential difference between the shells? So to get that, we use the maximum charge from part D. So the potential difference is the charge, so in this case being the maximum charge, of 3.33 by 10 to the minus 6 coulombs on 4 pi epsilon naught, and multiplied by the outer radius of the shell minus the inner radius on the product of the inner radius and the outer radius. And 1 on 4 pi epsilon naught is Coulomb's constant of 9 by 10 to the 9. So that gives 150,000 volts. And now we can calculate the maximum energy stored in the capacitor. So that's 1/2 by the capacitance in farads, being 2.22 by 10 to the minus 11, by the square of the maximum potential difference. So that'll be 150,000 volts squared, which is 0.25 joules. And we can move on to part F. Now with the charge at its maximum possible value, consider the case that the dimension of the outer shell is doubled from B to 2B. What is the change in stored energy? And assume the charge on the shells is not changed. Well, to get the maximum stored energy, we'll get the new capacitance, so we'll just call that C prime. So it'll be 4 pi epsilon naught multiplied by the radius of the inner shell by the new radius of the outer shell, which is 2B or 0.4 over 2B minus A. So that gives 1.48 by 10 to the minus 11 farads. And the new maximum potential difference, so we'll just take that as VA prime minus VB prime, is obtained by substituting 2B, which is 0.4, into this equation. So that gives 224,775 volts. So therefore the new maximum stored energy in a capacitor is 1/2 by the capacitance by the square of the electric potential difference. So that gives 0.374 joules. And subtracting 0.25 from this result, we get the difference in stored energy being 0.124 joules.